report, and welcome to From the Mayor's Desk. I want to thank you for joining us on Tuesday mornings, and I want to thank NEK-TV for giving us this opportunity to bring you updates about what's going on in Newport. We are having a special council meeting this Friday. I do want you to know that. We will be discussing a bit of the finances of the city. That will not be a long council meeting, but it will be announced timely. I do want you to know that we have been reading in the news some information that is highly disturbing regarding Act 167 community engagements and some recommendations that the legislature had paid for a study to come out. And of utmost importance is that we hear from our leaders at our hospital. You know that I have pretty much taken the stance that it is leave us alone. Our leaders and our city will look at the issues, we will address them with the appropriate administrators, and we will deal with the legislation that way, but it is not going to be, in my opinion, a directive as came out from this 144-page report. So on that note, we have our leaders from the hospital here, and they're doing such a wonderful job keeping us safe, keeping us healthy, and we need to work with them, and we need to really pay attention. So I'm going to turn it over to Tom, our CEO, and ask him and Wendy, as they feel fit, to give us some updates and some information about what their thoughts are and how we as a community can join them in supporting them to keep our hospital a hospital. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Good morning, folks. So first of all, thanks for having Wendy and I on today. We really appreciate it. We received that report. It came to us as quite a shock. As I'm hoping most of you have seen, the recommendations that Dr. Hammery and Oliver Wyman came out with are not what we expected. It was not what we had been told. It was not what was presented at our community forum for those who were able to attend that back in the summer. So it really did come as a shock. Long and short of it is, ultimately, based on those recommendations, they feel we're not a sustainable organization and that ultimately we would have to close. That is very inaccurate. There was very inaccurate information that was used. We attempted to correct Dr. Hammery. He didn't update his report. North Country Hospital is a strong, vibrant hospital, both from a clinical perspective. As you all know, we have amazing physicians, nurses, nurse practitioners, great staff. We employ 700 full-time employees, all from our Northeast Kingdom area. We are not going anywhere. Our finances over the last 2 years have struggled due to an implementation of a new electronic medical record, which we are in the process of repairing. Our hospital is strong, it is financially secure, and we will fight to make sure that the appropriate people in the state of Vermont hear us. We have meetings scheduled with our legislators who are incredibly supportive. The mayor, as you heard, is incredibly supportive. And it will take all of you folks, too, to be supportive as well. So anything you can do to write your legislators for support would be greatly appreciated. I've met with our VAHS representatives, Vermont Association of Hospital Health Systems, this morning with Wendy. In addition to that, as I said, we have our meeting with our legislators on Thursday evening. I hope to have a meeting with AHS this week from the state. And next week, I'm meeting with Owen Foster, the chairman of the Green Mountain Care Board, to hopefully set the record straight with respect to North Country Hospital.
Thank you. So what I really would like to know is, you talk about our fantastic physicians, and I know they are fantastic. You talk about our finances. Every organization goes through times where they need to readjust and reassess. Okay, the city is going through that right now. I mean, that's what happens, particularly every 5 to 6, 7 years. You have to reassess. You go back. You historically look at what was done. You always have a change that happens. I do believe we are strong. I do believe that we have to historically look back and see how you can project forward. So tell me a bit more about our physicians who are there, why we need them. We have an elderly population as well as new people coming in. I will admit I was a bit aghast at the statement that, well, we'll do births upon emergency. I don't even want to get started on that statement. However, I will do that when I come out with my press conference. But if you could just give us some understanding of what's going on with our physicians and our specialists there.
So, we do have, as Linda and I have said, an amazing group of physicians, and I'm just going to use Dr. Peter Stewart as an example. Peter Stewart is our medical director for our OBGYN program. The training that Peter's had, his undergrad was at Yale, his residency, I believe, was at Penn. This gentleman has amazing qualifications. I personally feel, after working at 3 hospitals, he's the best OBGYN in the state of Vermont. We have a challenging population. We're the most rural hospital in the state of Vermont. We have the most economically challenged area of the state. We often have emergency births on a regular basis. If we didn't have our OBGYN program, I can't even imagine what would happen. We do over 200 births a year. We have a phenomenal relationship with UVM, where they are telemedicine connected, so that if we do have a situation that gets out of hand, they're there to help us. Our general surgeons that we have are fantastic, well-trained, well-qualified. We just hired 3 new primary care physicians to join our program. As most of you know, we have 99% of the primary care that's employed through North Country Hospital in the state. On top of that, we just brought back Dr. Mike Hayes for our cardiology program. He's outstanding. We're very excited to have him. We have tremendous ED physicians. Our pediatric group has won multiple awards just in the last couple of months for their outstanding quality and the care that they provide. So for a rural hospital in the Northeast Kingdom, which is over 2,000 square miles, which is 21% of the total landmass in the state of Vermont, we do an amazing job taking care of our folks. And we're very fortunate to have the staff that we have.
You're also fortunate to have volunteers.
100%.
I have walked into that hospital and I have been greeted and never felt more comfortable and safe. And that security, that pleasantry is what it's all about. Just the fact that they care so much. Can you tell us a little bit about the volunteer system that's up there at the hospital?
Our volunteers, they're part of the family. And that's one of the things we try to get across to folks in the community, that we are a community hospital, and we try to make things as if we were all family. We're all connected. We're all related up here, let's be honest. But our volunteers are special people. These are folks that actually have to go through an interview process. They have to sign off on certain qualifications in order to actually become volunteers. And they serve a vital role in our hospital. Wendy, I don't know the total number we have now. Do you know the total number of volunteers?
I believe we're at about 26 at
26
this point.
volunteers.
Yeah.
They staff our waiting area and surgery. They come around with coffee for patients and staff. There's so many different things. They work the gift shop. Those are all volunteers that are working in the gift shop. Oftentimes former employees who have come back after they retire to volunteer. So our hospital, no hospital would be successful without a robust volunteer program.
And they are so kind.
Oh my God, they are so sweet.
They're so kind. They take the time, and if you just want to know where to go, they literally jump out of their seats, they walk with you. I've had some people put their coats on in the winter and say, oh, here's where you need to go. Let me walk with you, Mayor. Let me show you this area. And I thought, they're so much nicer than me. Like, how wonderful are they? Like,
they really
seriously
are.
Wonderful. And that's what your patients need. So they know they're coming to your hospital. They know they're going to get the best care. They know they're going to be treated with a safety net and warmth, and that, hey, hold my hand. how do you interfere with this? And so I have major issues with this report from both a financial standpoint, from both the premise of how they approached it. I do not agree with their facts, and I have grave concerns about what the political agenda was when they came out and wrote this report. So tell me a little bit, if you can. Their concern is that they want to turn our facility into a pure mental health facility. Okay, so yes, of course, everybody is concerned about that area of health. However, I find it a bit cruel to set up a situation like this, regardless of the hospital, even if they wanted to set up a separate facility, to say we're going to have one here in the Northeast Kingdom that are going to treat people from across the state of Vermont. I have issues with that. Any thoughts on that?
So, I don't have details.
Right.
These are all very high-level recommendations. It's very easy as a consultant to come in and, basically say, close the hospital, make it a mental health facility, and walk away, and then leave the carnage in their wake. So, I don't see that happening at all. And I will again reiterate, we're not going anywhere. Our hospital is strong. We provide amazing care in a rural setting. With respect to a political agenda, they were paid millions of dollars to come up with something. And I think it was very easy to, quote unquote, pick on the hospitals they picked on. The hospitals they chose to call out are hospitals that, I think from their perspective might be the easiest to deal with. Kind of the Northeast Kingdom at times in the state, I believe, which is just so wrong, is, out of sight, out of mind. I've brought folks up here from the legislature that have never even been to the Northeast Kingdom. And so I think, from a voice perspective, I think potentially the anticipation was, well, we're not going to hear from them. We have the industrial wind projects in the Northeast Kingdom. We have the only landfill in the state of Vermont in the Northeast Kingdom. And so I think it was, in my opinion, and that's only my opinion, I believe that might have been part of the situation.
I agree with you 100%. Northeast Kingdom, let's hide everything there. Okay?
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. Okay. And I, again, reiterate, leave us alone. We will make sure that our hospital stays and that our hospital is strong and that we benefit our population. The services that you are providing are amazing, and I know our legislators are going to help. I know I am definitely going to help. The president of our council and myself are organizing a group of people to actually come with me and the president of the council up to the State House, where I intend to do a press conference, and we intend on having our constituent base and other experts up there to explain exactly why this is not the way to go. And I'm hoping that everybody reaches out to me to participate in this, because this is something that is not just dear to someone's heart. This is the lifeline for us, Newport and the Northeast Kingdom. And so we are so grateful to have these leaders here. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I don't, North Country Hospital to this community is so much more than just healthcare. It's the largest employer in the area. We do so many community projects through Wendy and others to continually contribute to this community. As I said, the people that work here have connections for the most part to the Northeast Kingdom. Myself, I grew up in Massachusetts, but I have relatives in Barton and Orleans, and I've been up, my parents have had a home up here for my entire life. We are unique, and we get called out for being unique in a good way. And so it's so important that it's recognized what we bring, what North Country brings to the Northeast Kingdom.
And I'm hoping that we all stand behind one another on this. It is so important. And once again, I can't thank you for your great leadership, and I will be here to work with you in any way I can. I do want everyone to remember that tomorrow, the 25th, at 6 o'clock at the Gateway, we are having our Human Trafficking and Crime Update Community Forum. Please come on out. We have a phenomenal panel that is going to be there talking about this highly important issue. So please, come on out. Be part of this community. We are here for you. Come and visit me at my mayor's mornings, which is on Mondays from 9 to 11 a.m., also on Wednesdays from 9 to 11 a.m. by appointment. I will also be doing my walk with the mayor with NEK-TV on Friday. We're going to go start on East Main Street and visit the stores so that we can let everybody know, hey, these are great services and products, and what issues do you have as store owners? How do we get the population in to know about you? So we're going to be starting at breakfast, where I always like to start, at the Brown Cow on that Friday. So thank you, everybody. We love you, Newport. And reach out to me if you have any questions, and let's band together on this one. Thank you.